comes the story of the Hurricane.
Welcome back to Hurricane Fight Talk. I'm the Hurricane. The UFC 146 was an explosive, all-heavyweight main card that provided a lot of quick finishes. And but first, on the prelims, Jamie Varner was coming back, and this will be his first fight in the UFC since he left for the WEC 5 years ago. And he was taking on Edson Barboza. Edson Barboza is undefeated in his professional mixed martial arts record. He's 10-0. So we're about to see if Jamie Varner could do anything to make his comeback to the UFC impressive. And they both came out, and Edson Barboza was landing heavy leg kicks. He was going both inside and outside of the leg, and I think ultimately that could have been what led to what eventually became Jamie Varner finishing him in the first round. He was throwing a lot of leg kicks, but he wasn't really putting any punches behind them. Wasn't following anything up with them. So I feel like he got too focused on landing leg kicks, and Jamie Varner came in and he came down the middle and landed with some punches, and he got up against the cage and kept hurting him and rocking him, and then the ref ended up coming in and stopping the fight. So it was a pretty huge win for Jamie Varner. He was able to put that first loss in Edson Barboza's column there, and then we moved on to Jason Mayhem Miller. He was in a muscle situation. He was taking on the Doberman CB Dollaway, and this fight starting out looked promising for Mayhem. He came out and he was throwing hooks, and he was rocking CB Dollaway off the bat, and he had him stumbling. But it appeared that his knee ended up giving out for him in the middle of getting ready to throw one of his kicks. But you could tell he had his knee ace bandaged up, also with a knee brace over it. So you could tell there had been something going on with it. And it also continued. You could continue to see it just give out on him. Throughout the fight, he was rocking CB. More in the second round, and when CB was stumbling, Mayhem was chasing after him, and his knee was giving out a little more, and he was tripping and stumbling, chasing after him. So I think that really affected him, and exploding up out of CB Dollaway's takedowns every time he got him down, and CB's ability to control the fight and keep him on the ground and not have him up was really the deciding factor in it. And even though Mayhem had that bad of a performance, and it came up as a loss unanimously, I don't think it's anything that should be taken too skeptically, or I don't think Dana White is something Dana White's gonna kick him out of the organization for. I mean, he obviously has some sort of issue with his knee, and he wasn't able to perform to the best of his ability. And I think at least he should get a chance to redeem himself and get another shot for all the fans that want to see him there. The main card, we start out with Stefan Struve against Lavar Johnson, and Stefan Struve said technique 9 times out of 10 is gonna beat power, and he proved that. He wanted to stay away from Lavar Johnson's power and strikes, and he ended up getting him against the cage. He was able to secure the overhook on left arm, and as soon as he had it and felt it was tight, he pulled guard, then went to the ground, and he continued to work his hips up, and he was able to finish with the armbar. And it was quick. It was a very quick win for Stefan Struve. And then next we had Stipe Miocic versus Shane Del Rosario. And Stipe Miocic, he's former training partner of Mirko Krokop, and he's out in Ohio right now. So I was pulling for him to get the win against Shane Del Rosario, and he came out, and Shane Del Rosario was landing a lot of heavy body kicks on him, and but Stipe kept pushing forward, and he got some takedowns, and he ended up finishing him in the second round with some ground and pound, and so it was a big win for him. And next we had Roy Nelson fighting Dave Pee Wee Herman, and Roy Nelson, he came out and he landed the infamous overhand right behind the ear on Dave Pee Wee Herman, and he put him out in 51 seconds. So it was a big knockout win for Roy Nelson. And when we got to the co-main event, we had Cain Velasquez coming off his only loss of his professional mixed martial arts career, losing the belt to Jair dos Santos, and he was taking on Antonio Bigfoot Silva, who's a huge contender over in Strikeforce. Was competing in the tournament. He lost to Daniel Cormier, and had every bit of advantage over Cain Velasquez, being height and weight. Weighed almost 30 pounds heavier than him. But Cain came in and he picked his leg right off the bell and took him down. And he cut him open right between the eyes with a short little elbow. And ever since that cut occurred, the blood just got in his eyes too much, and he couldn't defend himself well enough from beating on him and landing all the heavier shots to get the stoppage in about 3.5 minutes into the first round. And so that was a big win for Cain Velasquez to get back on track, and you can probably see him challenging for the heavyweight title again here soon. And that brought us to our main event, which was Frank Mir challenging for the heavyweight title against Junior Dos Santos. And Frank Mir, he got he's the first person to get knockout win over Nogueira, and he's also first person to submit him. So that was going to be a huge thing for Junior Dos Santos to think about, in fighting Frank Mir. So he can attack with submissions first. So he come out trying to stand with me, and Frank came out, and off the bat he basically tried to shoot in and pick a leg of Junior to try and get a leg lock and get some type of scramble on the ground. But Junior Dos Santos avoided it, and he continued to pick him apart in the fight, and he did exactly as he predicted. He said he was going to put him away in the second round, and he hit Frank with some heavy shots, hit him with a goodbye shot, and he ended up putting away after with his punches, and he got the stoppage in the second round. So overall, this card was mainly all first round stoppages, and I would give knockout of the night to Roy Nelson. He put that right hand behind Dave Herman's ear in 51 seconds, and he dropped him down to his ass, and he didn't know where he was, and he's been landing that hand ever since he's been here, and I think he's gonna keep landing it. And for submission of the night, I would definitely give it to Stefan Struve, just for his ability to lock up that arm that quick in the first round, and so those would personally be my picks. All right, so for the next #1 contender spot for the heavyweight title, I think they're gonna get the matchup set up between Cain Velasquez and Roy Nelson, if that's what everyone else is thinking. And those two battled out for see who's gonna fight Junior Dos Santos next. And as far as this all heavyweight main card goes, I think it was a very effective new thing to try out. I think something that excited the heavyweights, that you're singling out a certain weight class, and makes them feel they all get to perform, and you get to see that weight class's talent showcased. So I think this could be something that could lead to Joe Silva and Dana White getting together, and even creating other main cards that are they don't necessarily have to be just all heavyweight, but have any other weight class and just have that predominantly be the main card. I'm the Hurricane, Hayden Sargent, and we'll see you next time on Hurricane Fight Talk.
Here comes the story of the